Welcome into the State of Sports podcast. I got the normal crew today. I got Stash Cuddy, aka Nick. How are you doing today, man?
Pretty good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Nice Sunday night here. Starting a new job tomorrow, so that's something to look forward to.
Nice.
Morgan, what's going on with you, man?
Just watching the Cubs suffer, giving up 7 in the first 2 innings to former Cubs we traded for a guy who's no longer on the team. So that's fun.
That's always fun. Well, we'll get to the Cubs. I know there'll be a topic of conversation of today. Today's topic is actually going to be a really fun one. I say this every argument we have, but I think this is the closest one to splitting hairs that we're going to do. Because we're talking about, you know what, Morgan, you can make your face as the moderator. I know I'm behind the 8 ball because you're a baseball fanatic, but that's fine. We're doing what's a greater comeback? The Cavs, 2016 Cavs coming back 3-1 against the Warriors, or are we doing the 2004 Red Sox versus the Yankees in the ALCS? So that'll be the debate. I'll have the Cavs. Nick will have the Red Sox. But before we get into that, I want to talk about the rebrand. We got a new logo, guys. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I like it.
Looks good. Added some color.
I got my glasses on the logo.
I don't know how we settled on Tar Heel blue, but we'll figure that out.
It's not Tar Heel blue.
It's definitely not Tar Heel blue.
It's not Duke blue, which is the correct blue.
Why the fuck would we be Duke blue?
We're in the middle, you know? So, yeah, it's a really
Duke
cool logo.
blue because it's Coach K's last season, Nick.
Oh, my God. I'm fucking over Coach K. But yeah, shout out to my sister Sam for getting that logo designed for us. It's pretty cool. We're gonna have some stickers coming out soon. So if if you guys that like to listen to us, you guys want stickers to throw at random places, we'll probably have them, I'd say, within hopefully a month. That's just absolute ballpark, but hopefully we'll have those so we can ship those out to you. It's just
a car, notebook,
planner, yeah, exactly.
Bathrooms, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, bathrooms. You want to stick it at the light pole at McDonald's? Be my guest.
Want to put it on the back of your vaccine card? Could do it.
Do it. You're going to be seeing me ride around with just a stack of stickers in my car, just slapping them up on stop signs.
Every town kind of has that one Jesus van that just has a shitload of scripture all over it.
Yep.
There's got to be one of those with just stickers.
That'll be one of our cars. So
that'll be one of ours.
So I'm really excited for that. So I think we're gonna start. I think we're gonna try to get some business cards so we can put those in local spots, local bars, local grocery stores. Hopefully, just getting the name out there. So if you guys think other people would enjoy listening to us, please send them our way. And sending it our way. Also, our socials. We've been pretty interactive on all of them. I believe now. All of our socials, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, it's at M&M SOS Pod.
Yes.
Which is all of them. That's a way you can get a hold of us. We definitely respond to comments. The Facebook page, all 3 of us are admins. I know Nick primarily does the social for Instagram and Twitter, which, Morgan and I greatly appreciate. And the big one I think I want to try to work on is YouTube. So if you guys are listening to this on the podcast and you guys enjoy our content, we got a YouTube channel. Link is in the bio. Please subscribe to us. Hit that bell notification. Like our videos. It helps us get in their algorithm so, we kind of get bigger. Don't worry. We'll try not to sell out. I'm not promising anything. But, we'll try not to sell out.
He'll be the first to sell out.
100%. I'll be like Dave Portnoy. I never told you guys I wasn't going to sell out.
That's all right. We're just going to replace Matt with Jonah Hill.
Is it Fat Jonah Hill or Skinny Jonah Hill?
No, it's who's it? Seth Rogen. They replaced him with Seth Rogen in 22 Jump Street in the credits.
That's pretty funny. Nick, did you like that new addition to the background, by the way?
I got mine right near me at all times.
Violence, speed, momentum. I think that's my dream interview is to get Dr. Disrespect on here.
Easy.
Yeah. Easy. Well, let's get into it. Morgan, you're moderating this one. You go ahead. You kick it off, man.
All right. Well, the 2004 Sox and the 2016 Cavs. Different for us from what we normally do. 2 different sports, 2 total teams, not just individual players. I've got 7 bullet points written down here, and I've graded 6 of them already, and it's 3 and 3. I've got one that I think one's the tiebreaker, and we'll see how that one plays out.
I love it.
So hopefully those 7 talking points get touched on. They're all pretty standard.
Yeah.
Other than that, Nick with the 04 Red Sox or Matt with the 16 Cavs. Who we got going first?
Doesn't matter to me, man. I'm comfortable on both sides for this, so you can choose.
I want to hear Nick's argument first.
Woo! Okay.
All right. Here we go.
Let's
go back to those beautiful 4 days in October. The
some
17th to the 20th.
Some grainy film.
Oh yeah. Can we get some grainy film over me, please? So, 7-game series, ALCS in 2004. The Red Sox went into that as the wild card, facing the greatest team in the American League at the time. Red Sox had a record of 98-64, and they just squeaked in there with that wild card.
At 98 wins, they just squeaked in.
There was some competition
there. Yeah, it was crazy back then.
What was the Yankees record?
They were 101, I think.
So they lost the division by 3 games.
That's the toughest division in baseball.
Pretty competitive throughout the year, though. I mean, sorry, you go ahead. Sorry.
Plus it's the Yankees.
Your story, not mine.
Greatest rivalry in all of sports.
Debatable.
Not debatable.
Debatable.
Greatest rivalry in all sports. Comeback from a 3-0 deficit had never been done before in the history of baseball. And the Red Sox made it happen in what I think is the greatest comeback in sports history. And if not the greatest, at least the most memorable. And I'll save my stuff for later.
Oh, wow.
Wow, solid opener.
Not firing any of the big guns.
Short and sweet. I like it. All right. What do we got on the Cavs side?
All right. With this finals, this is very personal to me. This is my greatest sports fan moment of all time, watching LeBron James win in 2016, being down 3-1 to the greatest regular season team of all time, the 73-9 Warriors, with the MVP of the league on that team, Steph Curry, on his second of his back-to-back MVPs. I believe that was his unanimous MVP year.
It was.
Which is very interesting because he did not get finals MVP. That was the story we will talk about. And as Nick said, 3-1's never been done in NBA history. The Cavs were able to squeak one in there early. But I think the biggest thing with this series is this series begins Game 5 in Oracle with one of the most historic finals performances that men, and women and children have ever seen. When you have Kyrie Irving and LeBron James both drop 41 in Oracle Arena to shut the fucking Warriors fans up. And just a quick tidbit from that, before this game happened, Clay essentially called LeBron a bitch. And LeBron took that personally.
All right, LeBron, settle down now.
He said it's a man's game. And
no Michael.
Well, I didn't say he was Michael, and I don't think he's Michael. So for everybody that's freaking out. But I think, that's where I'm going to open up. I like, the short and sweet start. And then I think there's going to be a lot of punches thrown on both sides here. So I'm ready to go.
All right. Well, that was pretty. No shots over the belt. No shots across the table.
No.
So you think about these two. There's so many iconic moments and plays and all that in the. Basically, you could just go Game 7 of the Warriors Cavs game. Alone.
Yeah.
Versus the whole Red Sox comeback.
The whole last 3 minutes of the Warriors Cavs game has more iconic, just as many. I shouldn't say more, just as many iconic moments as that entire Red Sox comeback does. Because I'll go, shot for shot right here. We got LeBron James's block, arguably the best play in NBA history. You can put that with Kurt Schilling's bloody sock game. One of the gutsiest performances you'll ever see somebody do on a mound. Shout out
through 6 innings.
Scoreless through 6 innings on an ankle that had surgery on it. And then you want to know what? A man like Cavs that never really got that love. Kevin Love with the stop on the unanimous MVP. The stop. You go to Cleveland, you say the stop, people know exactly what you're talking about. Kevin Love, who's a 4, had Steph Curry in fucking Alcatraz out on that perimeter. Locked him up, forced a missed shot, Cavs get the rebound. And then, you know what it is, man. Kyrie Irving with one of the most unorthodox ways to take a three-pointer. The shot heard around the world. And you know what? You can put the stop in the shot, just on par with Ortiz's walk-offs, in my opinion. That's just me personally. And I think the biggest thing about that Game 7 is how close it was and the magnitude of that game. And the Red Sox Game 7 was a fucking blowout. The Sox just annihilated them. So for me, I think what adds to the comeback is the closeness of that Game 7.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the Red Sox series, granted, these are both 7-game series, but very different sports, obviously. But in Game 4 and 5, the intensity was ridiculous.
For sure.
Game 4, which is probably one of the greatest games of baseball history, went 12 innings.
Mm-hmm.
David Ortiz obviously hit the walk-off in the 12th to win that. But Game 4 also had another great moment. Was Dave Roberts stole second base when the whole world knew he was going to steal second base.
Was he out?
No.
Morgan. I mean,
and to top that.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, and to even get that ball rolling, you get Kevin Millar getting walked by the greatest closer of all time.
Yeah.
It's just everything just kind of meshed that one game.
I think for both of these series, everything just fell into place for these comebacks to happen.
So the only thing I take down a notch for the Cavs series is that certain things fell into place for the Cavs that is not so glamorous. Draymond Green getting suspended for kicking people in the dick, shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? That is what it is. You play who's in front of you. I don't think it has an effect on Game 6, but Draymond Green comes back in Game 7. And the reason that game is so close is because Draymond Green drops over 30 points and I believe almost a triple-double. Dude was like 6 for 8 from 3. It was an absurd game from Draymond Green, who shoots like he has a backpack on his back.
Did Steph foul out a game too?
Steph fouled out of Game 6 with 4:22 left. In frustration, this man threw his mouthpiece into the crowd.
He did.
And I find it very funny when I talk about Steph Curry with the series because we all know how Nick feels about Steph Curry. And this is how
player of all time. What are you talking about?
This is how I used to feel about Steph Curry and his wife Aisha, who after the Warriors came back the previous series 3-1 against the Thunder, and then the Cavs came back 3-1 against the Warriors, and Aisha Curry said it was rigged. So anybody that thinks that was rigged for LeBron, you're just a LeBron hater, and that's fine. Just accept it. Like whatever. Like you want to throw out that argument? Listen, Draymond Green had many opportunities throughout the playoffs not to get that many fucking technical fouls. Those are the rules. The rules are in place before. It is what it is.
Let's see.
You think the refs in the fucking Series 1 are keeping Draymond Green on tabs, being like, oh, in the finals, I think in Game 5, we're going to have to tee him up so he gets suspended for Game 6. No.
Now, this is and I don't mean this in an insulting way. It's just a point that I was going to bring up anyway. The second time that you brought up Twitter, somebody talking on Twitter or after the game or before the game or whatever, this series took place in a time that the Red Sox series did not. It was a different era. Social media is not what it is now. Everything in the Red Sox Yankees was handled on the field, not by people behind keyboards after the game getting under people's skin. It was on the field, and that's why that series got so heated.
I also think that bodes well for my argument that the Cavs Warriors was in this day and age of internet that we have, because these memes live forever, baby. LeBron James' sunglasses meme, not giving a fuck, being down 3-1, not a care in the world, lives forever. Like the block lives forever meme. Like all that shit, like throughout that entire series, lives forever on the internet. I still see memes about it today. SportsCenter has fucking jokes about 3-1 at least like once a fucking year.
Well, it's like in every Instagram post.
Every Instagram
Somebody
post.
comments it.
And I also think in the Cavs finals, I mean, throughout NBA history, however you want to talk about the NBA finals, whatever, where do you want to put it in? LeBron James had a top 2 performance in NBA finals history, and he's not 2. He's the only player in NBA finals history to lead in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. Can you guys tell me what the 5 major stats are in the NBA?
Turnovers is 1. Minutes played, fouls.
I think he was looking for the ones he named already, Morgan.
Correct. No one's ever done that.
Nope, no one's ever done it. That's true.
He also became a Finals MVP for the third time, only the fifth player in NBA history to earn that award 3 times or more. Let's also get into another history, record that was broken. LeBron James was the first player to have, because in Game 6 he also had 41 points, I believe. He was the first player since 2000 with Shaq to have back-to-back 40-point games in the finals. And in Game 7, he had a triple-double.
Bam. Now, see, this is a tough argument for me, too, because I watched the same series you did and was just as excited.
And, another big thing is I got 2 points right here I'm going to make. I'm going across the belt on this one. It's below the belt, Nick. I'm sorry. For Christ's sakes, you weren't even a fucking Red Sox fan when that comeback happened.
No, I wasn't.
You were a Yankees fan.
Yep. So
you should be ashamed to have that be on your hat right now.
I know both sides of it.
You should be ashamed.
Matt, in the words of Emperor Palpatine, in order to learn the great mysteries, one must study all aspects.
Good quote. Good quote.
And he got the point back.
Morgan sitting over there.
Now you're taking into the social media account the fact that it's iconic, things will live forever, like the 3-1 picture, whatever. I want to get into this really quick. Your series on ABC, 30.8 million viewers, was the most viewed game in ABC history. Guess what game 7 of the New York Yankees Boston Red Sox viewership was?
I'm going to assume more.
31.4 million.
Oh, wow.
More than the biggest game ever on ABC was a Game 7 of an ALCS series.
You beat me by 600,000. Good job.
I think there is something to that, though, because that wasn't the World Series.
It wasn't the World Series. And get this, baseball, no game has topped 20 million viewers since then.
Baseball's been dying. Got to get that young audience.
Crazy. That's crazy that many people watch that. That's why it's the greatest rivalry in sports. People are going to tune in to watch that.
You keep saying it's the greatest rivalry in sports, but it's not anymore.
It was at the time.
The second the Red Sox beat the Yankees, the rivalry was over. Because after that, the Red Sox, it was.
No.
You had little spits and spats with Vertek and A-Rod. Red Sox won in, I believe, 08.
Yeah, but we're in a time machine right now. We're talking about 2004. This was the greatest rivalry in sports.
And I mean, arguably, this was the greatest rivalry in recent NBA history.
Here's the difference, though. People tuned in to watch the Red Sox win. People tuned in to watch LeBron lose.
They tuned in to watch a 73-9 Warriors team to see if
they wanted to see LeBron lose.
No, they turned into a 73-9 Warriors team because they don't mean a thing without the ring. Ask MJ. That 73-9 regular season, the greatest regular season of all time, nobody fucking remembers because they lost 3-1.
I do.
That's the comeback. Morgan goes, I do. Here's another thing that the Red Sox, obviously, the curse of the Bambino, 86 years. That's one team in Boston.
Yeah.
The other teams in Boston, mainly the New England Patriots, by that point, I think they're on their 3rd Super Bowl with Brady. So it's not like the city was drowning for a championship. Red Sox fans were, but the city wasn't. The Cavs broke a 52-year curse in Cleveland with no title. 0 across all major sports teams. None.
So cool.
What was
Cleveland
the curse,
remembers
though?
it forever.
Or did they just suck? Was it a curse or they suck?
It's the mistake by the lake, man. Nobody wants to go to fucking Cleveland. LeBron didn't even want to go to Cleveland. LeBron got drafted to Cleveland, said this place fucking stinks, went to Miami, but you want to know what? The man came back home. It also brought back one of the greatest comebacks in world history, in sports world history. It's a fucking epic. It's the Odyssey, for Christ's sakes, what he did.
I think also, though, people were getting some fatigue seeing LeBron in the finals, which is why I think I don't think it's as
I'm sorry you don't want to witness greatness.
I don't think it's as memorable overall. I think people just will remember always the Red Sox coming back from the Yankees.
You don't think people are going to remember LeBron James's block? It is literally the fucking block.
Overall,
that's what it's referred to.
People who don't even watch baseball know the 2004.
People that don't even watch basketball know who fucking LeBron James is.
Yeah, they know who LeBron James is.
They know about them beating the greatest regular season team of all time.
But you're also talking about a time now where social media and LeBron is a bigger than life figure.
That's not their fault.
It's not their fault.
It's not his fault. That adds to his legacy. Even if it's two different times, like the internet helps my argument right now because mine's going to live forever. You have fucking grainy, like non-HD film. I get fucking like 1080p of LeBron
That's
James.
still just as remembered without the social media.
At this point, I think the Red Sox have won too many titles for it to be remembered. That'll be Cleveland Cavaliers' only title of probably my entire fucking lifetime.
Oh, you guys make my job easy. I don't really have to do anything. I do think working against Nick here is people only remember the ALCS. They don't really remember the World Series.
That was the World Series, though, that year.
Right. But nobody remembers that they swept the Cardinals in 4 games and made it look easy. And
it was easy.
Because they had a 98-win team. They were only 3 back of the Yankees. We're acting like they were a fucking underdog that won 85 games and barely squeaked in.
Yeah, but the Cleveland Cavaliers aren't a shit team either.
They aren't, but they won the 73-9 Warriors. They were like 20 games back, not 3.
With arguably the second greatest player of all time on their team.
I mean, you want to talk about like greatest players of all time? Ortiz is probably the greatest DH of all time.
But that's a DH. He can only do so much. LeBron can literally take over both sides, defense and offense.
So now we're punishing the game that LeBron's playing compared to what David Ortiz and the rest of the Red Sox are playing.
No, but I'm just saying your team has arguably one of the greatest players of all time next to the Red Sox, who were, they have great dudes on that squad. I mean, Manny Ramirez, David Ortiz,
Pedro Martinez,
Trot Nixon, Varitek.
We're acting like they're just throwing fucking nobody out there.
No, they're not nobodies, but it's not the second greatest baseball player of all time on either of these teams.
Bro, Steph Curry is literally a top 3 point guard of all time. Like, what are we talking about here? Draymond Green's going to the Hall of Fame. Klay Thompson's going to the Hall of Fame. They got they got beat so fucking bad that they had to call Kevin Durant. Draymond, oh Kevin, can you come play with me? We gotta beat the big bad man LeBron. It's fucking like dog shit, dude. Like that's how bad that fucking beatdown was. The Warriors, the 73-9. No, I'm not done. The 73-9. I
wouldn't call it a beatdown.
What?
It came down to like the last 30 seconds of the game.
Yeah, a mental fucking beatdown. LeBron James was in the Warriors' head so much. Draymond Green had to go call the second best player in the NBA to be their 4th fucking superstar. That's how good LeBron James was. That's how good that comeback was. They had to ruin the fucking NBA.
People would argue it was already ruined.
I disagree.
I mean, I feel like LeBron did the same thing when he couldn't beat the Celtics.
He didn't join the Celtics. No. He went and created his own team. He didn't run like fucking Kevin Durant, who goes, oh, so LeBron James gets beat by the Celtics when he takes off the jersey in the Garden. Next year, he's out there with Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Rajon Rondo, and Ray Allen playing fucking in Celtics green. No, bullshit. He went and made his own team, made his own way. Sure, it was a super team, but he still made it his own fucking way. He didn't join the dudes that beat him up. Like fucking Kevin Durant lost 3-1 to the Warriors. It's Nick's favorite analogy. This is one of my favorites. You go to a bar with your buddies one weekend. You and your buddies get the shit kicked out of you by these group of dudes. The next weekend you go back to the bar, your buddy is at the bar with the other guys, and then they kick the shit out of you. That's the analogy.
Smart guy.
Pussy, snake.
Yes,
so
trust me.
Here's the one thing working against Matt here is it wasn't even the best 3-1 comeback in Cleveland that year. Because we all know the Chicago Cubs came back from 3-1 on the Indians to win the World Series to break an 108-year drought. Yeah. So that's probably the greatest 3-1 comeback ever.
Well, you want to know what, though? You want to know what? Here's the thing. That adds to my argument, actually, because Cleveland was up 3-1 and they weren't clutch enough to be able to win it for the entire fucking city on a 52-year drought.
It's because LeBron already sucked it all up.
He took all the power out of him.
So I do think you look at the four of these teams.
I have a really quick point. The Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals has the 2016 ESPY Award for Best Game. Does that series have an ESPY
of the
award?
Year?
Yeah. Does your series have an ESPY Award?
I know that on MLB.com, the top 20 greatest baseball games ever played, Game 4 of the ALCS is in the top 20 games ever played.
Oh, it's in the top 20. It's not, game.
You're right. It didn't get an ESPY in 2016.
It didn't get an ESPY in 2004. One of the greatest award shows of all time.
The ESPYs are fucking meaningless.
So back to my point that I was going to make. So I look at the teams involved in this. You got the Yankees and the Red Sox, the Cavs and the Warriors. Both. So like you look at the Yankees, clean shaven, preppy, people hate them. They're the villains. The Red Sox, everybody was cheering for. You look at the Warriors, everybody's cheering for them to beat LeBron. LeBron's the villain. So is it greater to win as the villain or win as the hero?
Here's the thing. When the Red Sox won, the celebration, like, it was almost nationwide. People were pretty excited about it. It was all over commercials and everything. It was like a nationwide celebration because they took down this ragtag group of dudes, They're
not a ragtag group of dudes. That narrative is so fucking dumb. There were 3 games back in the Yankees.
We know more now about these players than we did at the time. You can't look at their entire careers now.
Martinez was a Cy Young winner. Kurt
Yes,
Schilling
I know
was.
that.
They're not the players. A ragtag group of players.
They were compared to the Yankees.
No, they weren't. They were 3 games back. That's an absurd argument. That's an absurd argument.
I'm not talking about the record.
Come on,
I'm talking about the players.
Sorry, I'll stop interrupting.
They took down the evil empire in dramatic fashion.
I do remember that being a huge narrative, was beating the evil empire.
LeBron James, the dude who nobody fucking likes, won again.
No, it wasn't winning again. It was winning for his home team that drafted him. The team
People who don't like LeBron are still not going to like him for that.
Because they're fucking idiots. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Here's the thing. It's better to win as the villain. And you want to know why it's better to win as the villain? Because nobody wants to see you win. Ask Morgan, who's a fucking Kobe Bryant fan. How good did it feel for you watching your favorite player, who's a fucking villain, go into the Garden and just fucking beat down on the Celtics?
Kobe was beloved by all.
Shut the fuck up. LeBron James, what he did, and that Cleveland Cavaliers team as a whole, what they did. They went to Oracle twice in that comeback. One of the hardest places to play in the NBA, if not the hardest at the time. And they beat them. It's better to do that, baby. Champagne smells better in an away locker room. Ask Steph Curry. When he goes back to Cleveland, the year they beat him before, and he comes back, he goes, I wonder if it still smells like champagne in the locker room. Ask the boy. Ask the kid, dog. Come on, man. This sucks for me because I'm a Sox fan, too. That 0-4 comeback was fucking sick. Like, fucking Manny, dreads hanging. Ortiz hitting fucking dong shots.
So, what do you guys think is the most iconic moments out of the series? Is the LeBron block in the Schilling bloody sock? I would think.
And the bloody sock is pretty iconic. The David Ortiz walk off of the 12th. That's incredible too.
To make a point for Nick, it's not just one walk off in the 12th and the extras, it's 2. So
yeah,
I mean,
but the game 4 one, extra innings, and then going to the next game too. 14 innings was the longest postseason game in history. The Red Sox would just not go away. They wore them down, and then the next 2 wins were easy.
Well, that I think helps my comeback argument is how close my game 7 was. But for the Cavs, man, you can go back. Multiple moments. LeBron James, 41, and Kyrie, game 5 in Oracle. Down 3-1, nothing to really fucking play for. Nobody's ever come back. LeBron James says, if you come on this plane, you better plan on coming back to Cleveland playing a fucking game. And that's what the man delivered. Game 6, another 41-point game from LeBron James.
I just think also, though, just like we're saying it's the 0-4 Red Sox versus the 16 Cavaliers. It's really the 0-4 Red Sox versus LeBron.
That's not true. Kyrie Irving.
People will remember it for LeBron.
Kyrie Irving shot, man. That shot is going to live for infamy. Anytime you watch an NBA Finals game, that highlight reel before the game, you're going to see Kyrie Irving, that inside out crossover, taking the step back off the wrong foot 3. Every fuking time over that punk ass bitch, Steph Curry. Bang.
I will not set
blouses.
Steph Curry slander happen.
Look how happy Nick is with that line. Look how happy he is.
I just think seeing the Red Sox, they didn't win for 86 years. And then you're seeing a guy, granted the team didn't win. There was a drought on the team, but he had already won. And basketball is a personality-driven game. So you're watching him more than the whole team.
City on his back, dude. Whole city. I
just think
Cleveland,
in the sports,
the mistake by the lake.
In the sports world,
Morgan?
I think the Red Sox comeback is held in higher regard.
I don't. I looked at a couple websites that had the Cavs 3-1 over the Red Sox, but I was actually surprised by. I was going to say, I'm not sure if it was Bleacher Report I saw it or not.
I looked up a few top 10 greatest comebacks of all time. And
I mean, these are like 1 and 2 either way. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. I don't think the LeBron did it by himself argument was valid.
I don't either. Kyrie Irving had 41 points.
I didn't say he did it by himself. When did I use that?
No, not you. Matt just said LeBron put the team on his back.
Oh, no, hardly.
As a leadership, yeah. Leadership aspect for sure. You're the man sending out those texts saying don't plan on coming back or getting on the plane if you don't plan on playing a game when we get back to Cleveland. Wearing the fucking black uniforms in Game 5, going to your own fucking funeral, and him and Kyrie going out there and dropping 41, bang, as Mike Breed would say. One of the greatest sports calls of all time happens in that NBA Finals. Oh, blocked by James. It's got to fucking live forever, man. It's going to live forever. Not that the 04 Sox won't, but if
the 04 Sox happens now in the social media age we're in, it's gonna get the same treatment.
This isn't even close.
It'd get the same treatment. I mean, baseball's not what it is.
No, I think if the 04 Sox was like the 2016 Red Sox versus the Cavs, it like all like curses still in place. Red Sox blow them out of the water, like the Cavs.
Yeah. And look what it sparked. Look what the Red Sox sparked throughout the sporting world. We saw the Cubs win finally. We saw the Cavaliers finally. The Red Sox were the spark that lighted that fire for these teams to start doing that.
There was one man for baseball that lighted that fire. Let's give the man respect, Theo Epstein. Give the man his praise. GM of the Red Sox and of the Cubs. Tip of the cap.
Who did not win Manager of the Year that year?
He was executive.
Oh, no, I mean, I'm sorry. I was talking about Francona.
Terry Francona. I mean, let's talk about it, too. Morgan's come back. Terry Francona's on the other side of that.
Actually, yeah.
He was.
You know,
I think that's another thing with LeBron is the coach, because LeBron was half coach on that team.
Ty Lue
is still learning he's turned out to be a phenomenal coach now, but
first
I think
year on the job as a
from
head coach.
LeBron. I think him and LeBron co-opted a lot, and Tyronn Lue took.
I think so too, but I also think Tyronn Lue had the balls to talk back to LeBron, which coaches didn't do.
Well, he should after he got stepped over by Allen Iverson. So did you guys settle on obviously the LeBron block, but is it the Schilling or the Ortiz walk-off?
Yeah.
I think the most iconic throughout the entire series would be the Bloody Sock, which sold, I read recently, for just like a fucking insane amount of money.
I'm sure it did.
And I think one of the other things is the Fever Pitch movie.
Yep.
Yeah,
I love it.
They had to go back and reshoot the entire movie, or the entire ending, rather.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Just nuts.
So, we've been going on it pretty. You two have been right at it, each other. You got anything left? Anything else you want?
I'd say the only other thing that did, just based on its longevity, is Cavaliers won. That's it. Now it's done. The Red Sox won, and it got the ball rolling for them to turn into a brand new franchise, essentially.
I think that honestly helps the Cavs argument, because that is the one that Cleveland will remember forever. LeBron James, the king, the world will remember. Anytime you talk about Cleveland sports for the next 50 years when they don't win another fucking title, they will bring back to LeBron James and that 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers team with J.R. Smith shirtless at the parade and then shirtless for months after the parade. I don't know if he's put a shirt on now. We're in 2021.
I'm pretty sure.
I think he put the shirt back on when he forgot how much time was left.
Fair. But, I think the story of LeBron leaving Cleveland, coming back, and then, being down, Cleveland's always been an underdog city, and being down 3-1 to the greatest regular season team of all time, unanimous MVP. I'm pretty sure Draymond was in the running for Defensive Player of the Year, if not won it that year. Mm-hmm. Can you correct me, Jamie?
I think he won it. I'd have to look.
Still don't know if that's a great story. Like LeBron leaving, coming back, keeping his promise. I don't know if that holds 86 years worth of weight behind it.
I mean, holds over 52 for an entire town, not just one, sports franchise in the town. Agree to disagree, sir.
We'll have to. And Morgan is asleep.
Oh, no. He's doing research.
Kawhi Leonard won it that year. Draymond won it the year after.
So he's still a Defensive Player of the Year caliber player.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He still was.
The Draymond.
Yeah. So Morgan, I think I'm good. Nick, are you good?
I think I'm good.
Verdict.
All right. Well, this was definitely a very entertaining one for me, sitting on the sideline for this. I do think Nick missed a key point with not bringing up the year before with the Aaron Boone walk-off beating the Red Sox. I think that plays a huge factor into their story. That being said, I can't pick somebody who beat Steph Curry, so I'm giving it to the Red Sox.
I'm done with this podcast. I'm
tired. It was a good argument.
Jack, I know how you feel now. I know how you feel. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, it's definitely the Reds. The Red Sox definitely that's going to live on more forever. Because I remember not even being a Red Sox fan, and I was happy they won.
It was just good for the
sport. It wasn't the comeback. It was the argument for the comeback, and I had a better argument.
It was good for
That's the name of the show. That's all right. Good game, Nick. That was a good one. We were both very passionate. Fun. Can't believe you turned on LeBron James like that. You weren't even a Red Sox fan, for Christ's sakes.
Matt.
Speaking of the Red Sox.
The game is the game.
Are the Red Sox done?
Yeah. I don't know if they're done.
Our World Series pick is not looking too hot. My only hope is
shooting right into the weekly wrap-up here?
Right into the weekly wrap-up. We're going in.
Great.
Yeah, I don't know if they're done. Chris Sale's coming back.
Yep.
The 14th, I believe. That's kind of going to be their saving grace. I think he needs to pan out or else it's fucking all over.
Yeah, not spending money at the deadline is going to come back.
Yeah, they're cheap as shit. Wow, cool. We got Schwarber. Nice.
Whoa.
Take back the argument.
Disrespect my man Schwarber.
Take back the argument, Morgan. Give the victory to me.
It took a minute.
Give the victory to me. Come on.
He's good. He's really good. But, like, I don't know.
You hear
get
that,
a pitcher, man. Get
really
a pitcher.
Good. He just says he's really good. I respect Schwarber.
Get somebody with an arm. That's not what the team needed. It's not what the team
needed. They don't need the best leadoff hitter in baseball who's just hitting dong shots before he pulled the hammy.
Well, I am switching to Matt Whitting because of slander. I can, actually.
He is the moderator, sir.
We went right to the weekly wrap-up. That portion's over. It's not what the team needed coming into the second half of the season.
No, it's not. They need a pitcher.
But Schwarber is one of those guys who he'll bring the team together when they're struggling. He's gonna.
Yeah, I really feel right now that he's bringing us together. I really fucking.
He's hurt. He's not. Once he starts playing and gets in the locker room and he's there all the time.
Mark it. First game for Schwarber, dong shot.
Well, I mean, that's just what Cubs players do that we trade.
That's
even though we didn't trade him, but
that's next on the list.
Listen, the Red Sox aren't as dead as some of my picks because the Nationals are very, 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 very dead.
Actually,
yeah,
Nick,
who would have thought that the Nationals would have just decided to be like, hey, we're gonna rebuild.
I wasn't counting on them on trading Scherzer and Trey Turner and Schwarber and their closer and everybody.
No bueno, no good.
And then watching the Nationals Cubs series that weekend with like 15 new players was atrocious.
Real rough people who bought tickets in advance.
Hey, me and Ryan and Rizzo, and we get Ortega and Jason Hayward.
Like,
perfect.
Ooh,
exactly.
Can't wait to see my big three. Nope.
Nope.
Speaking of the Cubs' big three, Chris Bryant, Javi Baez, Anthony Rizzo. All hit homers in their debut for their two teams. Is it Bryant? Oh,
Chris Giant.
See what you did there. That's smart.
Yeah, they all hit some.
That's what they're calling.
Some moonshots.
How you
I
feeling,
think
Morgan?
what makes that worse is they all didn't make their debut on the same day, so it wasn't one day and it was done. It was Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday.
Morgan watched it, and then
And
went in,
I'm like,
and just,
what the hell is going on? And then Rizzo's hitting walk-offs, and Chris Bryant's hitting walk-offs, and I'm about done with baseball. Matter of fact, I'm done with baseball.
Morgan's done on baseball for 2021.
And then I watch them all hit the home runs, and then we get Ortega who hits 3 home runs in a game, and we still lose. So that was
Aaron Rodgers is back for the Packers.
Yay.
That won't lead to heartbreak or anything.
Never does.
It's gonna be a rough year for you, Morgan.
Yeah, it's not good, dude.
It's not good.
I know. I got that. Rodgers last year. It's Coach K's last year. The Cubs are dead.
Just all the Cubs players just absolutely blossoming on their new teams. Javi Baez. I've spoken about him in the past, how much I love him. I think he's one of the best. That slide to home. I know now, Morgan, why you guys call him El Mago. I get it now.
The only positive I'm taking away is if the Mets, the Giants, the Red Sox, or the Yankees win the World Series, I'm counting it for the Cubs.
Hey, half the MLB who has my team, one of my players on it. If you guys win the World Series, it's a win for me.
Matt had every single player under the sun going to the fucking Red Sox, and none of them did.
You know what? That's on me because I forgot that the Boston Red Sox are a poor franchise.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
They can't afford players like Mookie Betts or Chris Bryant or anybody like that. You know?
Every time you go to Fenway, there's a fucking collection plate.
You know, it's not like the hot dogs there cost like $14 a pop and the beers are like 20 a pop, but you know.
Yeah.
And the fucking beer's stale. Ugh.
I still buy them.
Yeah, of course, have to. Well, speaking of the NL East, Morgan mentioned it. The Philadelphia Phillies sweep the New York Mets, who are DeGromless. And is Bryce Harper making a potential push for NL MVP?
It seems that way.
Maybe.
None of us picked him for NL MVP, did we? I
Nope.
think we all were unanimous across the board.
Yeah,
Tatis.
we all went Tatis.
Who's hurt? Hashtag
He's
sad
hurt.
face.
Also,
Get well soon,
Prince.
Prince.
Talking about, is also left with an injury.
Yeah, and
After
battling
a swing,
an injury
he'll
all
probably
year.
be fine.
Rizzo got COVID, right?
Rizzo has COVID.
COVID all around.
Chris Bryant, sit out a couple games. Protect yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nick,
definitely the Phillies, man, that they kind of snuck up on the Mets there.
they did.
Yeah.
You had a interesting stat on Zach Wheeler and Roy Halladay's number getting retired, so let's hear it.
I did, yeah. Roy Halladay, speaking of, Phillies, they retired his number today at the stadium, and Zach Wheeler retired the first 22 batters straight. That's the first time it's happened since Roy Halladay's perfect game in 2010.
Baseball's got weird stats like that, man.
But it's crazy though.
It is.
On the day they do it.
That happens way too often in baseball. It's crazy.
I mean,
Well, at least it's not an ESPN stat where it's like this was the first time Steph Curry's hit 3 3-pointers before 30 seconds in a game after he had fucking Chick-fil-A for lunch. It's like,
did he have the spicy or the original?
I don't know. He's done it before with the original, so it must have been the spicy.
Fair. Well, our last baseball subject, Morgan was wearing a Cleveland Indians hat. As we all know, they're changing their name to the Cleveland Guardians. But
Or
not
are
so
they?
fast, my friend. Lee Corso. There's a roller derby team in Cleveland named the Cleveland Guardians. Can we just talk about this for a second?
How do you
does
not
an
know?
entire MLB franchise not do research to see if there's anybody in the city of Cleveland with that name?
Bro, I'm just saying. We talked about our social plugs at the beginning of the thing being at Eminem SOS Pod. It lets me know on Instagram when it's fucking taken.
Sure does.
Are you telling me that the Cleveland Indians didn't put Cleveland Guardians in some sort of a name database and be like, man, hope there's not a fucking roller derby in close proximity to us with that same name and merchandise and website domain?
And logo.
like, come on, man.
How hard is it to give a roller derby team money? It's gotta be a
or
team, right?
it's
For a roller derby team. Like,
how hard is it? To your point, just tack onto it. Could the Cleveland Indians just be like we'll let them keep that and come up with a fucking better name.
Better name.
I mean, here's a positive note. They have a chance to like get a better name now. They'd be like, well, that name was taken and the fair came back and it was kind of shitty. So we're gonna go back to the lab and come up with something.
Cleveland Wild Things.
Cleveland baseball team.
Oh, yes. Don't you fucking dare.
Cleveland Baseball Club.
Don't.
Ooh, club. I like club. The Cleveland Club. Just get rid of baseball. Cleveland Club.
I hate.
No, they're gonna attribute that to Native Americans for sure.
God damn.
I'm telling you, man, Cleveland Wild Things. Push for it.
Yeah.
Buy the logo from the movie with the sunglasses and the mohawk and use it.
Yeah, it'd be perfect. And it's perfect too because we were talking about this on vacation. It attributes the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland.
Yep.
You know, covering all your bases, Cleveland. You know, MLB hit our line.
Yeah. And we'll make sure that there's no roller derby with that name first. or some figure skating troupe.
Blades of Glory. Some duet. Speaking of Blades of Glory, let's move over to the Olympics. USA wins the medal count.
Yep.
Are you guys feeling proud of your country?
Sure. I mean,
I don't think we were as dominant this year as others.
We barely snuck in winning all the golds, which is really the only medal that matters.
China winning for a while.
They led up until today or whatever, yesterday. And I mean, we beat them by 1 gold medal.
So we did, and we ended up getting more gold medals.
Yeah, we did. We 39 of their 38.
I have a hypothetical to you guys, and this may get us in trouble. What's more disappointing? The women's soccer team getting bronze or Simone Biles ended up getting the twisties not being able to compete until the beam at the end and getting bronze?
Simone Biles is more disappointing.
Definitely the women's soccer team.
Whoa! We got different opinions. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen.
I could care less whether or not that women's team ever wins again. You don't think it's more disappointing to not see the greatest in her respective area?
The women's team is the greatest in the women's soccer.
It's a single person. It's a single person. She's the greatest of all time.
And the women's team doesn't lose. They won 40 straight matches, 44 straight matches going into the Olympics.
And the disrespect from what is it? Megan
Rapinoe.
She said she just couldn't believe they lost to Canada.
I mean,
believe it, sister.
Believe it. And when you're in that bronze medal game, sweetheart.
I think it hits me more because I woke up at 4 a.m. to watch those games, and then to watch them to lose to Canada at 4 a.m. was brutal.
What a disappointment. Why would you do that to yourself?
Wake up and watch soccer.
Because I love watching this women's soccer team.
You love watching them choke on the big stage?
Well, it didn't help their goalie got hurt in the semifinals.
Were the U.S. fucking national team, your women's soccer team who dominates all of other national teams, get a better backup goalie. Figure it the fuck out.
She was solid. It was a freak game where they lost on a PK in the 78th minute.
Well, they don't even have Western Canada, and they beat them.
Oh my god,
that's crazy.
That's crazy. They play on ice.
What were they kicking around? Bacon wrapped scallops, dude? Come on.
I think personally it's disappointing for Simone because, like Nick said, we didn't get to see the greatest of all time. To me, I mean, now for the women's soccer team, you just get the question, well, if you guys were a little more focused on playing soccer, you guys would have got gold and not bronze.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
Not that it's right. Not that it's right.
But I think they were heavy favorites going to the tournament. And once Simone went out, nobody really expected anything out of it.
But she came back, got bronze.
Yeah.
That was cool.
I mean, the other gymnasts still cleaned up. Sydney Lee won gold in the all-around.
She won gold, yep.
Michaela Skinner got silver in the vault. I mean, we still got silver. We got silver with 3 gymnasts in the team event.
That's crazy.
It's weird. It just wasn't a cool Olympics this year.
Well, there's no fans.
Well, it was the 2020 Olympics.
And the teams, to me, to everybody, I guess, but the U.S. teams just were not as dominant this year as they have been in the past.
Yeah, I agree.
Even the men's basketball team.
Hey, they won gold.
They won gold, but like the fact that we're excited that they won gold and didn't know if they were going to is the point.
You want to know what though? They played like shit in the exhibition games. We were talking all that shit. Draymond kept the receipts. Draymond kept the receipts and was dragging out the receipts, going like this. Hey guys, look what y'all said. Remember when you thought we wouldn't win gold? I can appreciate a shit talker pulling out.
I was never worried. Didn't you just slander Draymond Green in the last like half hour of the show?
What did I say?
I didn't slander him. That was in 2016.
I didn't slander Draymond Green. I said he was the only reason that Game 7 was close.
He wasn't in Game 7.
Yes, he was.
Or 6. 6.
It was 6. Yeah, he was in Game 7. He had like 32 points, dude. I'll never forget it. He fucking was hoisting threes and he couldn't fucking miss. And I was like, this dude's gonna be the dude to beat LeBron. Draymond fucking Green. But yeah, I'm happy for them. Women's basketball gets gold too.
Javale Mcgee gets gold.
Javale Mcgee and his mom, first mother and son duo to get gold in the Olympics.
Crazy.
That's nuts.
I believe they were the first Americans to do it.
The women's.
I think they were the first mother, son.
In the U.S.
in the U.S.
history.
I think it's U.S. I think it's been done in the Olympics.
Well,
but then you had Eddie Alvarez baseball team, 6th ever to win a winter event and a summer event.
That's crazy.
What was his winter event?
Short speed skating.
Sick. what a random hobby for a baseball player.
Right? That was kind of my thought.
That's how he keeps his grace out there on the field.
Makes sense.
Well, didn't Emmett Smith used to take like ballet and shit?
Yeah. When I saw Eddie Alvarez, I'm like, the MMA fighter plays for the baseball
team. He's just out there. He like walks to first base, just fucking starts submitting the first baseman.
MLB Slugfest style.
Just goes out there like, where the fuck's Don Zimmer? Give me an old man to punch.
No, that's Conor McGregor.
Oh man,
because he didn't drink his whiskey.
Yeah, that's good. That really quick. That was a great segue over to UFC. I do just want to finish up men's baseball. Without our MLB players, got silver against Japan, which is very impressive.
Pretty impressive.
They had one.
We get all of our good players from Japan.
They had one.
Yeah.
We didn't. We weren't. We. In the words of our former president, they aren't sending their best.
I mean, baseball's always tough with the season going on. And...
Yep.
Morgan, UFC, go.
Oh, so this fake title fight that they put on, really dumb. Derek Lewis and Cyril Gane. Cyril Gane's a beast. It's a shame it was an interim title fight because I feel like it takes away from the sheer dominance he had last night. Derek Lewis is known, most knockouts, I think, in UFC history. He landed 2 punches in the first 2 rounds.
Jesus Christ.
He got absolutely destroyed in front of his hometown. Cyril Gane moves on to, he's 10-0, the champion. Well, for lack
moves on to fight Ngannou.
It should be a good fight. It's just a shame.
You know what comes after that one?
The John Jones fight.
Oh yeah.
They should have had
Johnny Bones, baby.
Yeah. But I don't know.
Boy, looking thick.
And he looks good. And Jose Aldo was also on that card, and he looked real good.
I heard he looked really good. I thought his career ended when McGregor made him, slap the mat, but apparently he's back.
He changed his weight class, and he looks crazy good.
Did he go down?
Yeah. He went down. He looked so fast. It was crazy.
Well, okay. And can't take a punch from an Irishman. I'll say that much.
Yeah. No, we can't. Got caught. But I mean, there was a couple other fights. Vicente Luque had a wild sequence. He was in trouble on 3 different submission attempts, and then somehow rolled out of it and got a Darce choke and won the fight. It was a wild minute and a half rolling on the mat.
Sick.
Yeah. Other than that, there wasn't much going on in that card.
Nice.
Especially with the Amanda Nunes dropout.
Yeah, that sucks. She'll be back.
She'll be back.
El Goat. We're going to talk football real quick, but we're not talking American football. We're going overseas. Have to bring it up. Lionel Messi signs with PSG. Lionel, what? He's not even the real GOAT. Ronaldo all day, baby.
Whoa.
Ronaldo all day. Have you seen? It's 100% Ronaldo.
And Messi's better.
I'm Portuguese. It's Ronaldo. It's just established. Okay, it's in my blood.
I saw he was willing to take like a 50%. Cut.
Yeah, because he's playing.
It wasn't
he's
enough,
playing,
I guess.
He's playing with Neymar and Mbappe for PSG. So him and Neymar played together at Barcelona, correct?
Yeah, Neymar.
Look at me on my socks.
I'm
just
Barcelona.
saying.
It's Barcelona.
Barcelona. Sorry, I apologize. I'm gonna talk like Mike Tyson for the rest of the podcast. If you folks don't mind, if you guys don't like it, you can just mute me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the press conference was super depressing. I watched it when I got home from work.
He was crying and stuff.
It was sad as shit.
Well,
because he spent 17 years with Barcelona, which is crazy. He's already spent 17 years with a team.
They said it's also him and his wife or something.
His wife.
That's where they planned on being.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Life changes, Messi. Enjoy these 2 years in Paris, and then I'll see you for your farewell tour of the U.S.
Yeah,
awesome.
We're gonna transition over to American football. AFC South is looking good for your boy here. Wentz and Nelson both hurt for the Colts.
Yeah.
Do you guys care at all?
Rivers hasn't ruled out retirement and coming back now.
About the Colts? No.
Bro, Phil, stay away, Phil Riv. Stay away.
I think it's him going home and realizing he has all these kids now he's got to take care of.
Dude, he's got like 10 of them?
Yeah.
Dude can field the full football team.
Almost.
Dude's never heard of the 2 words, pull out.
Yeah, I think he's like, I need to get out of here. I made a terrible mistake.
Phil Rivers at this point is going to come back from retirement and just play until he gets hit and turns into dust on the football field.
Hell, bring back him and Eli to the Colts. Let him duke it out for the spot.
Oh my god!
I mean, Wentz could be back. They said 5 to 12 weeks.
What a wild window!
Weirdest. That's such a wide window.
Yeah. Did we really quick? Did we touch on Aaron Rodgers last week coming back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Sure did.
Yep, talked about his conference.
That's right. And then Morgan shit all over the pack.
We're on a tirade.
Yeah,
sure did.
Another COVID-related story very quickly. Lamar Jackson got COVID for the Ravens, a former MVP, but it appears that he's back at practice. So, nothing too crazy there. I want to see Lamar ball this year, so that'd be cool. And then I want to talk about the Hall of Fame and one player in particular. But let's talk about that Deshaun Watson may be playing and could potentially be traded to the Eagles. If you're the Eagles, and actually, let me ask you this question. If you're an Eagles fan, are you a fan of the franchise if they trade for Deshaun Watson?
I would. In Philly, yes. I don't think they care. I mean.
So you're saying they don't care about women's rights? I just want that on the record.
Thanks.
For Philly, probably.
That's what it is, man. Like, he's got allegations that are like over 20, like almost 30 women now.
Yeah.
Sexual misuse. Like, dude, it's like.
Dude, what is going on with people?
It's weird, though, because he's not on the commissioner's exempt list. So he's still eligible to play.
Yeah.
Which is wild to me.
So if you're the Texans, do you play him in a game?
No.
You just hope somebody caves to the picks.
I think you take the first decent offer you can get.
Yeah. Get him out of town.
I mean, unless they know something that's going on more, that these allegations aren't serious.
Yeah.
They can't prove any of them, and then I don't know.
I mean, I was going to say, we've talked about it on the podcast before. We won't talk about allegations until we have
the facts.
Evidence. So we'll see if Deshaun Watson plays.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame ceremony was this past weekend. I think, a couple Hall of Famers got in that deserved it. Obviously, Peyton Manning, the great Peyton Manning. As my mom would call him, butternut squash head. I mean, his head is shaped like a butternut squash. He's not wrong.
Got a lot of football knowledge up there.
The helmet head.
And honestly, speaking of sexual assault, this dude dragged his nuts all over a trainer at Tennessee. People forget that.
Yeah.
And then this is what I wanted to talk about. I wanted Morgan to talk about it. Not known necessarily for being a former Packer, but a huge impact on the Packers.
So,
Charles Woodson, Morgan, floor is yours, my friend.
Man, Charles was awesome. I loved having him. Rogers obviously loved having him. He was part of the presser of guys who just were mistreated when they left. But he brought so much to that Super Bowl team for those. I think it was 3 years. I think he was on the team. But it sucked because he didn't get to play in the Super Bowl because he was hurt. But I mean, he was the leader of that defense, the captain. I mean, he's what you want in a football player, honestly. He does everything. He's committed. He's the locker room guy. He's the coach's guy. I mean, he's just what you want in a football player.
Yeah, for sure. And I think another gentleman that you want in a football player was also inducted into the Hall of Fame, Calvin Johnson, a.k.a. Megatron.
Yeah.
Guy who I think is the best receiver ever to play.
I think he's second, personally. I think he's behind Randy.
For what he accomplished in 8 years.
It's off the charts, man.
Is unreal. And he did it in Detroit. And he had Dan Orlovsky as a quarterback for a few years.
There's an argument to be made, Morgan. I'm not saying there's not. I'll say that much.
I mean, I saw him twice a year.
True.
And it didn't matter. You couldn't guard him. Nobody could guard him.
How did it make you feel that Calvin Johnson said if you could play for one other team, it would have been the Packers?
That he's been saying that for years, but he knew he was never getting off the line, so he was always just said Green Bay, just to get people talking.
Could you imagine him and Rochester? Magnificent.
Well, okay, so he would have been there with Jordy and Cobb and Devontae
and Jermichael Finley.
Finley didn't play long, but
damn, that would have been crazy.
Just him and Jordy. Oh my God.
Well, I'm going to get to the last Hall of Famer we'll be talking about tonight. Troy Polamalu, who I personally think, in the Hair Don't Care segment, is one of the most overrated players of all time. Anytime I saw Troy Polamalu, he was getting burned by somebody. Ask Greg Jennings in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
People try to compare him to Ed Reed. There's no comparison. Ed Reed's way better.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. Troy Polamalu, I'm sure he's a great guy by every account, very nice man from Hawaii. I just think he's an overrated football player. And I think the only reason he is who he is in stature in today is because he played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's it. Doesn't even sniff Ed Reed's jockstrap on a scale talent.
I have it.
Morgan?
I got nothing to disagree with there. All points are valid. I mean, his most notable highlight to me is him getting burned in the Super Bowl.
His most notable highlight to me is like a story Pat McAfee told about him picking the right gap when Pat McAfee was supposed to run a fake field goal for a touchdown. Cool, dude. Like you jumped over the line to like block a field goal. Yeah, he was
smart player, but
like people like try to compare him to like Ed Reed and shit. Like, bro, Ed Reed like was like Bill Belichick literally thinks Ed Reed is the greatest safety ever played the fucking game. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the clip, and I'm going to bring this up whenever I argue with Murph, who's better, Ed Reed or Ronnie Lott. Murph hit my line. We got to get that going. But Bill Belichick literally has a hard-on for Ed Reed, why him and Ed Reed and fucking, what's his name? Not Al Michaels. Fucking
Costas?
No, now here's a guy.
Oh, Collinsworth?
Thank you, Collinsworth. While they're all sitting at a table regarding like that NFL like top 100 players or whatever all time. And Ed Reed's sitting there with a shit-eating grin on his face. And Bill Belichick's like, this is the greatest play I've ever seen a safety make. And Bill Belichick's like an excited little kid. He goes, he knew Peyton Manning, whenever he would pump to the left, look back to the middle, and throw to the left. So Ed Reed flips his hips, baits him to do the pump fake, and then turns around. By the time Manning lets go of the ball, Ed Reed's picking the ball off. And it's just like, and Ed Reed's just sitting there like, yeah, man, I watched film a lot that week, and, I just found this little thing, so I got a pick out of it. So fucking awesome Ed Reed was. He was so cool too. By far the coolest Hall of Fame bust of all time is Ed Reed's. Have you seen it? Though?
Dion's is hard to top.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to top time, baby.
I mean, I think another thing with Polamalu is he had Bill Cowher as a coach and Mike Tomlin. And those are two of the greatest defensive-minded guys in coach history. I mean,
and it's like, I think Paul, obviously he's a Pro Bowler. He's a Hall of Famer, but he's just not on Ed Reed's level.
Do Pro Bowls really mean anything in the NFL? Because I don't think they do.
They used to. I think they used to.
because I think they had 100 and something players getting something like that getting the Hall
Makes
of Fame.
sense. All right. We'll move on. No more Troy Polamalu slander for tonight. We got one more subject left, and Nick's walking away, but I think he'll like this one. NBA free agency was fucking crazy.
It was wild.
Let's talk about. I did have Russ to the Lakers first and their signings, but I don't want to talk about that first. I want to talk about what we think about Lonzo and DeRozan going to the Bulls. Does it make them a contender in the East?
A contender for like a 4 seed.
Yeah, like home court. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I don't mean they.
I think Levine's going to take a huge jump having an actual point guard.
I mean, he took a huge jump last year.
Well, like now, I think it's going to be like a Devin Booker jump. You know what I mean? What he got when he had Chris Paul, and Morgan cuts out right when he's meant to be talking right now. Awesome. Nick's sitting over here, just muted, just sitting there shaking his head.
Yep. What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? Thumbs up. You back, Morgan? Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Morgan.
Yeah, I'm back.
All right, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I think it's just you and me to finish this off. I think Nick's got some stuff happening. So.
Oh, you got to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sent you a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You guys got.
I think we got to finish this up. Nick's got to step away for.
Okay. Yeah. Go.
We'll finish this up.
Right. Yep.
Hey, good episode.
Yeah, good episode, man. GG's. Later. So yeah, I think you're gonna see friggin' Levine take a huge step. Huge step.
Him not being the primary ball handler.
Yeah, and
this year.
Yeah, I think it'll be Booker-esque. And then DeRozan, I mean, DeRozan's a guy that can get to the free throw line for a team, the Chicago Bulls, that doesn't shoot a lot of free throws.
Yeah, he's definitely.
Well, Morgan cut out, so of course, the one time that I need Morgan not to cut out, I can bounce off of Nick. This is how it goes. So I'm just going to sit here and talk. I think the Bulls will have trouble with defense because not many of these guys are defenders. Of course, Lonzo's a great defender, but they're going to have to try to, with Billy Donovan, try to navigate a defense around having, DeRozan and Vucevic out there. So I think that'll be a difficult task.
Yeah.
What do we think about Kyle Lowry going to the Heat?
Depends on what Kyle Lowry they get. I don't know. Lowry's getting old. I don't know. It's they're replacing Dragic with Lowry. I don't see much of a difference. Maybe a little more scoring.
Maybe like 4 points total.
He still can't play a lick of defense. So.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I don't.
Duncan Robinson re-signed for big money, 5 for 90.
Yeah, he did. That was. Needed. They have a shooter. I think the one thing Lowry will do is be able to give Jimmy a little bit more rest.
For sure, yeah. More like regular season rest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. Let's, go to the Lakers. Lakers made a splash. They signed Kuzma, KCP, Montrezl Harrell.
Good riddance.
Number 22 pick to the Washington Wizards for Russell Westbrook. And then they signed a lot of shooting, which went very much under the radar. They got Wayne Ellington.
Way more important than the Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, because obviously you need to surround Russ with shooters. And honestly, if you're going to have Russ, LeBron, think about it this way. Russell's an upgrade over Schroeder in the last unit. He is.
Yeah.
And energy. And if you surround them with, whoever their fourth quarter lineup's going to be, Anthony Davis is going to be playing the 5, LeBron at the 4. Then, you have Wayne Ellington. Who else? They got Melo, obviously, Goat Melo.
Didn't they get Ariza?
Yeah, they got Trevor Ariza. I'm missing another big one. I can't think of who it is.
Dwight.
They re-signed Dwight, yep. So that'll be good. Like, they'll throw Dwight Howard out as the starting center, and Anthony Davis will then play center after Dwight subs out in 4 minutes. So,
like I told you last night, I think the Russ acquisition is big for them for the regular season.
100%.
He's definitely a regular season player who's going to give you the high energy, high intensity that they need so LeBron and AD can get extra rest.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially keeping the ball out of LeBron's hands as he ages might preserve him a little bit more in the gas tank for the playoffs.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
I think Melo. Melo's definitely my favorite acquisition. It makes me like the Lakers, but also I don't want to I'm so torn now.
How torn are you? Because LeBron gets 5 if they win.
I know.
Melo gets 1.
I know.
Is it worth it? Is it worth me as being a LeBron fan? Is it worth hearing that he's tied with Kobe for rings if Melo gets one? Is that sacrifice worth it?
No, I don't think so. It's not, because Melo still has the college national title, and he's probably one of the greatest Olympian basketball players of all time.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
I mean, realistically, though,
I can't have you getting LeBron to 5. I just can't have it.
If LeBron gets 5 and he gets one with Carmelo, that entire draft class he's won with Wade, Bosh, and Melo. That's crazy if he does that.
Go find Darko.
Oh, come on. Come on. Leave Darko alone. I want to end on an interesting thing, and it's a theory that I've heard for the, Trill Withers, his podcast. I was going to say, I got to find the name of it very quickly. I just know it's Trill. It's the Fun Report. It was on his recent Fun Report. And there was a question sent in, and I thought it was a very fascinating question. So the Pelicans cleared a bunch of cap space, didn't re-sign Lonzo to go out for Kyle Lowry, and they didn't sign him. So now they have this cap space, and Zion's looking at David Griffin, who can't seem to build a team around Zion Williamson, who's on his 3rd coach in 3 years. Do we think Zion Williamson is going to be the first guy on his rookie contract that's like I'd say superstar stature, like him, Luka, like a Trae Young, like somebody like that.
Box office attraction.
Yeah, box office attraction. Do we think he's going to be the first one that just signs like the $4 million qualifying offer and says, fucking, I'm going into free agency? Or do you think he signs for the big money and then forces his way out, kind of like Anthony Davis?
So here's the thing with Zion is he is loyal to a fault.
Yeah.
And he takes his consideration of his family and friends into everything he does. Because he wanted to stay another year at Duke. And Coach K had to say, no, go to the NBA.
Yeah.
Don't be dumb. And I think it's hard for me to see Zion.
I think he does it. I think you heard that, man. Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm glad you asked me that question. Man was licking his chops at the question about going to the Knicks. Like, ooh, if you're a Pelicans fan and you see that, you just got to be like, again, we lost Chris, we lost AD, and now I'm going to lose Zion, as I'm losing Morgan in this call right now. Unbelievable. He's back.
So I blame Nick.
I blame Nick too.
I didn't have any issues the whole episode till he left.
Nope, not at all. Well, hopefully everything is okay with Stash Cuddy.
Yeah, hopefully everything's fine. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we all know David Griffin, noticeably great GM for building teams around his players.
I mean,
historically,
yeah. It's bullshit. It's bullshit you gave Nick that win. I killed that argument. I just want that acknowledged by you on this podcast.
Come on, you had to know I wasn't going to let you win with LeBron over Steph.
I know.
You had to know that going in.
But still, I made a very compelling argument.
Your argument was good.
It was better than Nick's. It was.
But you slandered Steph too much.
How? I said he was a unanimous MVP. I gave him his props. I just talked about how LeBron's better.
Pretty sure you mentioned some words about his wife and some other stuff. And
there was nothing rude about his wife. I'm not going to attack a man's wife. She just claimed it was cheating, and it's just absurd that she did that, considering they came back to 3-1 the previous series.
Yeah, but I can't give LeBron it. No, can't do it. Can't do it, won't do it.
Your dad's comment on the Facebook page made me die laughing. I won't read that out loud, but that made me. Well,
they can go. They can go find our Facebook.
You guys can go find our Facebook page, guys. All of our socials at MNMSOS Pod. Please shoot us a follow. We'd love to interact with you guys. I don't know what we're doing for an episode next week. You got any ideas?
I mean,
what are we thinking? We're getting close to football, so maybe...
I was gonna say we could do the football because I went through and did the spreadsheet for like our picks and stuff, and I put all the over unders that I could find right now.
Okay.
So we could do that, or we could wait another week.
Yeah. Hold on. This is what you call good radio right here, folks. We're gonna look up a calendar real quick. Calendar.
Because I mean, we're 2, 3, 4, 4.5 weeks away from opening kickoff game.
I'm down to do the football preview next weekend, but in that football preview, I think we get like 3 mulligans in case of injuries.
It's true.
Fair?
I don't have any issue with that.
Rules established. Football preview coming next week. We'll go through all the divisions, all division winners, future MVP picks, where to put your money on, who's winning the Super Bowl. I'll tell you what, it's going to be back in that Midwest, baby. I'll give you my Super Bowl pick right now. Chiefs are repeating. Chiefs not repeating. Chiefs are going back.
It's like repeating.
Chiefs are going back, facing the Bucks. Chiefs are going to be healthy this time.
I've already looked at some of my stuff. I don't have them in the Super Bowl.
You don't have the Chiefs. Who do you have beaten? Is it Buffalo? Like, are you kidding me?
I'll save it for next week.
Oh my God. On that note, folks, thank you for joining the M&M SOS Pod. We're gonna, try to use that name. State of Sports Podcast. We appreciate you guys listening. Morgan, anything else to say before we get out of here?
No, I think we're good.
All right, perfect. For Nick, for Morgan, Murph, play us on out. Take it easy. Have a great week. We'll see you next Monday morning.
Next week.